guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a highlighter battle versus 3 different brands. First off, we have the Nyx Duochrome Highlighters. These are pretty new to the drugstore, so when I saw them online, I jumped on them because I was like, oh, are these gonna be a dupe for the Moonchild? They had a couple that looked like they could be, so I grabbed those 2. This is a blue one in the shade Twilight Tint, and this is a pink one in the shade Snow Rose. So I've got these 2 guys, and I also have 2 from ColourPop. I have the shade Honeymoon and the shade Monster. Once again, it's another blue and pink duochrome highlighting thing. In this video, I'm going to compare the Nyx highlighters right up against the Moonchild palette. I'm going to swatch all the highlighters I've mentioned on my face for you guys. If you want to hear my full review on the highlighters and how they held up, just keep watching. Okay, so right now on my skin, all I have is like a tinted moisturizer and a little bit of powder from e.l.f. I'm not doing like my full face of makeup in between each of these swatches because that would just take way too long. So what I'm going to do is just swatch everything in order, and I'm gonna just do tinted moisturizer and powder over it and then be putting all the products on top of that. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Let's get into the swatches. First one I'm trying out today is from NYX. This is their new Duo Chromatic Illuminating powders. Basically, they're like colored highlighters, kind of. These really reminded me of a lot of different companies right now that seem to be kind of getting more on the colored highlighter trend. It seems to be just growing, which I'm really excited about, honestly. I'm gonna put this on with a Luxie 522 tapered highlighting brush. Just dipping in there. There's not a lot of kickback with these, and then I'm gonna tap it off and just apply it, and bam, there she is. Hello. I don't have any contour or bronzer on either, or blush or anything like that, but personally when I wear blue highlighters, I like to not wear blush anyways. Kind of clashes unless you're going for like a purple look. This is the color, once again, Twilight Tint from NYX. It definitely has a blue reflect to it, but I think it kind of is more of an icy blue reflect rather than like a colored blue reflect, if that makes sense. I'll show you with the Moon kit what I mean by that later when I swatch these side by side. Overall, it's really pretty. This highlighter was, I think, $8. I think these were $7.99 each. And I definitely think this is a really nice blue highlighter to come out of the drugstore, but I don't like it as much as my Anastasia one. The next color I am going to swatch for you in comparison is Blue Ice from the Moonchild palette. I very clearly love this one. It is almost completely gone, but don't worry, I bought a backup of this palette already because I just love blue highlighters so much. So I am going to go in. Once again, I'm using the exact same brush. I'm just swirling it around, getting as much product as I possibly can out of this sad little pan. And I'm just applying it straight away. This one definitely has like an icy blue flash to it, and I love it so much. All about a blue highlighter, never afraid to wear blue highlighter ever. I really like it a lot. I don't know why I am programmed to love it so much, but I really do. There's like glitter particles going everywhere, and I'm living for it. So that is what Blue Ice looks like. This is hands down my favorite colored highlighter that I've ever tried. I love it. It's a powder. It's great. It has a blue flashback. I love blue. Blue's hands down my favorite color. I love this highlighter the most. It is definitely my favorite, but that's why I got so excited when I saw the NYX highlighters, as I was like, maybe this is gonna be a dupe for the Moonchild palette, but I definitely think they're super different. This is like that moment in The Devil Wears Prada where it's like, which belt? And I'm like, they're so different. That's how I feel about blue highlighters. They're so different. Okay, so the last highlighter I'm going in the blue family with is Honeymoon from ColourPop. This is a super gorgeous product. However, this is a cream highlighter. I actually did not set my face with a powder this time. I just put on the tinted moisturizer, and I'm gonna go straight in with this with my fingers. My favorite way to work with ColourPop cream products so far is just going in straight with my fingers, just kind of putting the product down And then I like to bounce over it with a beauty blender back on top to diffuse the lines and just really help blend it out, because this looks a little bit crazy, but that's okay. We're gonna fix that, don't worry. But I like a strong highlight, clearly. Didn't really feel like I had to say that, but I'm just going for like a, you know, light 2 layers of this, no big deal. Maybe this one is my favorite actually. I may have lied. Damp beauty blender bouncing over this, but I'm just really going over all the lines of the highlighter and blending it out as fast as I can. That is probably good enough for me. This is before, this is after, probably as good as it's gonna get for me. I just genuinely hope this one is showing up on camera as beautiful as it is in real life. This one has more than just a blue reflect to it. It also has a pink reflect to it, a purple reflect to it. There's a lot of iridescentness going on with this product, which is why I love it so much. I will layer blue highlighters a lot of the time. I love using Honeymoon as a base since it is like a sticky cream product, and put blue ice from Anastasia on top of it to like intensify the blue more. Now I'm going to move on to the pink family of highlighters, and once again I have one from NYX, one from ColourPop, one from Anastasia. So let's get into the swatches of the pink highlighters. The first pink highlighter I have is from NYX. This is once again same line as the blue one, and it is in the shade Snow Rose. I wasn't really sure that the blue highlighter would be an exact match, but I was pretty positive this one would be. Once again, not a lot of kickback with these. There's definitely more with the Anastasia palette, but that never really stops me, honestly. So once again, just applying this with the same brush to the tops of my cheeks. I have been cleaning this brush off with like a microfiber towel in between colors. If you're wondering, that is what I do. It works wonderfully. And it keeps your brush dry, which is definitely what I need because I don't have like 10 of these brushes. Okay, so that is about 2 generous coats of this on the top of my cheekbones. This one is definitely a lot more powdery than the Anastasia one and the ColourPop one. It goes really kind of white kind of quickly. The Anastasia one you can build up to be kind of white on the face as well, but it takes a lot more than it did with this one. The texture isn't as nice on this one, although the color is almost exact. They're pretty much spot on. Really not a big difference in color throughout the 3 of these, more so just application and texture. So this one is definitely the driest of the bunch. If you go super light-handed with this, you could definitely make this work, but I just think if you have darker skin, this would maybe look like too white on you too fast because it's already pretty white on me. It just seems like it may be a little on the light side of things. Okay, now I am going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills shade Pink Heart. This is very clearly my second most loved color in this palette. This one does have quite a bit of kickback to it, but that's never really bothered me, like I said earlier. I think this one is probably my favorite out of these 3 because I can get a really intense pink highlight very quickly. I really like the ColourPop highlighters, but a lot of times, honestly, I'm deterred from using them because they just take a little more blending than a powder highlighter does, so it takes more time, and usually I don't have tons of time to be given up in the morning. And yeah, like I said, this is the shade Pink Heart from Anastasia. It is definitely a really nice fiery pink reflect coming through, but I think it's very easy to blend out if you get too crazy like I normally do. At the same time, it's very flattering, but like I said, it can get a little too brightening at times. That's kind of where you have to be careful with this one, but other than that, I really like this one a lot. Alright, so the last and final highlighter I have for you guys is Monster by ColourPop. This once again is the last pink, and it is a cream kind of formula, so I'm gonna be applying it the exact same way I applied the other ColourPop highlighter. Woo! This one is very pretty. I love ColourPop highlighters, like I said before. I just don't always have the extra time or patience to apply some of them. as lazy as that sounds. Just applied it on with my fingers and now I'm blending it out with a beauty blender. I think out of all three of these, the ColourPop Monster highlighter is definitely going to be the best that's suited for dark skin because this one has the least amount of white flashback to it. That's definitely something to consider, but I love this one. I use this one all the time as a base for Pink Heart by Anastasia, and now I also have the NYX highlighter as well. They're honestly all pretty great. I am going to swatch everything side by side now for you guys, just so you can see kind of up close what they look like for themselves. But yeah, once again, this is Monster from ColourPop. Okay, so the first one I am swatching for you is Twilight Tint from NYX. That is what it looks like all on its own. The one I'm going to swatch to the middle, halfway below it, is Blue Ice from Anastasia Beverly Hills. You can see now that they're next to each other, the Anastasia one just has such a stronger blue reflect to it, whereas I feel like the NYX one is a lot more icy. So also right next to that, I wanted to swatch the color Blue Ice from the Anastasia palette, as it is a blue highlighter as well. Excuse me, that one is Blue Moon that I put right there, and that one is Blue Ice. Blue Moon definitely has more of a silver blue reflect, which I felt like was more similar to Twilight Tint. And I mean, honestly, the last one in the shade Honeymoon is just so iridescent and so beautiful. I hope it shows up on camera kind of how beautiful it is in real life, but that once again is Honeymoon by ColourPop. That one is maybe my favorite in terms of color reflect. It definitely just has so much of a shift going on. And now at the very top, I'm putting on Snow Rose. This once again is from NYX. It is definitely kind of chalky, has a lot of white reflect to it. There's a pink reflect to it as well, but it is very pale at the same time. The one I'm swatching right below that is Pink Heart from the Anastasia palette. I really just feel like this one is a lot creamier and a lot more translucent and not as white as the NYX one by far. I think it's definitely very noticeable in this swatch comparison. And then on the very bottom, that is ColourPop and Monster. And once again, I feel like that one is definitely the most translucent of the three, so that one would probably be best for the darker skin tones. I mean, really, you could get away with any of these. It's just into your style and preference choices, but they're all really pretty. The next one is just very powdery in comparison to the other two. Okay, so I am back now. I have done all my makeup as I normally would. Just wanted to give you guys kind of an overall opinion about the highlighters and kind of rank them for you in case you didn't get my opinions by the swatches. I definitely have to say in third place is the NYX Duochrome Highlighters. They just weren't as impressive as I had really hoped them to be. I really thought they would be a lot smoother of a powder and a nicer texture, but they turned out to be kind of too chalky. Even as someone on the fairer side of the spectrum, they were just really chalky and just not that great. Especially for $8 each. That's by no means in the high-end price range, but that's also not like on the cheapest side of the drugstore, so unless you just don't have anything like these two, I would just skip on them. Second place, once again, I kind of feel like it's gonna be obvious, but here we go, ColourPop. These are also $8 a piece and they're beautiful. I love them. They have a really nice texture. They blend out beautifully. They're amazing. However, the lazy girl inside of me just doesn't want to spend more time blending things out than I need to be on my face, so anything that adds extra steps to my routine. Most mornings I will stay away from things like that and go for things that are quicker, faster, easier. And in case it's not obvious, in first place is the Moonchild palette. Y'all know I'm crazy about this palette. Now that I am actually about to dig into my second Moonchild palette, I'm like, do I buy a third? Do I need another backup when I go through that one? Because there's just no comparison for these out there that I have found yet. That being said, this one is the priciest. This one is $40. But anyways, that is where I'm gonna end this video. I hope you guys got something out of it. If you have any questions about any of the shades I showed at all, or anything at all, period, leave them in the comments down below and I will get back to you as soon as I see them. I've never done like a highlight swatch video before. Did you guys like it? How did you like that? I don't think I've ever seen somebody like swatch highlighters on their actual face. Leave me your feedback. I'm always listening. If you want to subscribe, I put out new videos every Wednesday and I would love to have you here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out more than you know, more than anyone knows because YouTube doesn't tell us. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you're all having a great week and I will see you next time. Bye guys.